You like spaghetti, don't you, David?
Of course.
Okay, here we go. We're definitely in the dinner hour, so just think spaghetti right now. Talking about the old spaghetti factory, now celebrating 50 years in Portland. So I thought it was a good time to introduce you to the woman behind it all, adding spice to a restaurant that's provided tons of memories for so many. My guess is you've been there. You've seen the unique, ornate interior, the stained glass, the chandeliers, and of course the streetcar. You've tasted the spaghetti with the homemade sauces. But have you met Sally?
Oh, so nice to meet you. What's your name?
I'm Christine. It's
Christine.
That is Sally Dussin. She and her late husband Gus started the old spaghetti factory 50 years ago. You may remember when they started downtown, then eventually moved to the riverfront off Macadam. You can't miss the building, and you don't want to miss Sally.
Oh, they're so cute, honey. They're darling.
At 90 years old, she's full of life and still works.
Oh, did you really?
They now have 44 restaurants all across America and Japan. It was her husband, Gus, all those years ago who wanted a place that served a specific food that catered to families at a good price. And the old spaghetti factory was born. In looking at it now, all these years later,
Right.
could you have had any idea what would have become 44 restaurants later and all these people coming to your restaurants all the time?
No, Steve, we didn't. We thought in a way that we were taking a very big chance. But Gus thought so because everyone that was in the restaurant business in downtown Portland, when they heard the idea, they said, "What are you doing? You know, you can't have a restaurant with just spaghetti."
Apparently you can. Fun food and a good place to work, too. With 4,500 employees, some of the company vice presidents started out washing dishes. For Sally, the passion is evident in her eyes 50 years later.
I think the best part to me is to come in and hear the laughter and the fun that people are having, see the children all in the high chairs and running around and whatever, and also just being able to communicate with people. And this chandelier was out of London. And
Sally still spends her time managing the restaurant designs, all those antiques, some of them brought in from Europe. She calls it her labor of love, and she clearly loves the labor.
the great secret of life is loving people, loving the things you do. I think there's such a gratification with doing something you truly love.
She says she'll keep working as long as she possibly can. Her son now runs the company. When she has time for reflection, the good times greatly outweigh the bad.
There is a certain feeling of, well, I think we must have done something right.
Something right and still going. There are more families to serve, more laughter to be had. But after 50 years, there was one question I really had to ask. Do you still like spaghetti?
And I still love spaghetti. Every once in a while, I say it when I have to have my spaghetti fix.
Isn't she just an absolute
delightful.
sweetheart? I asked her, in fact, how long she would keep working. She said, absolutely as long as I possibly can.
I can see that. And you can see her joy, and the patrons feel it as well.
Yes.